All right, folks, we got Mercedes van Essen here. We've just finished doing the Trading Up podcast, which was absolutely fantastic. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out after you watch this wee YouTube clip where Mercedes is about to walk us through some of the stuff we talked about in the show. So over to you, Mercedes.
Okay, thank you, Cam. Right, what you are able to see here is a candlestick chart of the Japanese yen on a 60-minute time frame, and it's actually perfect for educational purposes. I was saying early on, I look at patterns. Now here we have got a beautiful potential long pattern setting up, which is fulfilling my requirements initially. So I look at this chart and many others initially just to scan for trading potentials. Now here we've got a nice rounded bottom. We have got a 20 moving average and a 50-day moving average. Price has sort of peaked up here. It's broken some major pivot here, which is very nice. Always look for this. And then I look for open areas where I can trade into with a good risk reward. We said our risk reward has got to be at absolute minimum 1 to 1.5. And I can see very easily here, if I get this trade, it fulfills these requirements. So we had this green candle up, nice pullback, which I'm looking for momentum. And if I get this close up here, I would be interested in taking a long trade to maybe initial target here, possibly up to here. Now what I then do, so I know my general strategy, I look at the K-bars. The K-bars are where I take my trades from, and I either take them of a 10 or a 20 K-bar. There is a bit of room in it, but the two must be in agreement. Now the K-bars are range charts. They are a custom bar which I purchased. I love it very much. The next best thing probably is a Unirenko thing, which is available on NinjaTrader on their standard platform. You don't need to purchase it, but this, as I say, it's a custom thing. It's very, very nice because it also lets me see patterns, and very clearly can I see my support and resistance levels here. And we can see, obviously, on the wider range, the 20K bar, this trade is setting up. Everything is green here, and everything is green on the 10K bar as well. Now here I have got a candle. Let's make this a little bit bigger, where we can see there is a wick to the top, a wick to the bottom, which is what I'm looking for. And I've got a special software, which I'm not using here, order software, which I can set up, and it allows me to enter once this bar is closed or about to close, and I enter on the next bar for either a long trade, and I can set the software that it automatically sets up a short trade, and I put my ATM there. I use a custom ATM, which is never less than 45 ticks, because I don't want to be stopped out on a market maker whim, for the want of a better word. So, I mean, here we can see very nicely that this could be a beautiful trade that could take us up into that area here. If we are lucky, that trade might go higher. So my stop on a trade like this would be initially probably sort of down here. As I say, maybe even lower than that. It's not quite 1 to 1.5, but close if I work on the potential of the trade going there. So I'm happy with this, and everything is lining up here, even though on the histogram here, which frankly I don't take much, pay much attention to, it's pretty meaningless, but it comes with the software. And the only thing I would pay attention to is actually here, that I can see that the downtrend clearly is weakening, because we have got these dark bars here. But I look at the patterns, what I see I like. I obviously want to see this remaining green. This has got to remain green. It's moving in the right direction on the higher time frame, and I'd be happy to take the trade. So this is actually a very good potential trade. One thing I'd like to say, of course, I have got no problem changing my mind, because patterns morph into other patterns. So if this, for some reason, suddenly turns red, well, then I know my analysis has got to change, and I remain sidelined and wait until I get clarity for another trade to set up.
Nice. And so can you quickly go over range bars? Like what's the makeup of this bar? It looks quite similar to Heiken-Ashi.
Yes, it is actually. It's basically a mixture of Heiken-Ashi and Unirenko. The biggest thing that I always say that what you need to know is that, of course, the time element is not there. And the time element is very important to me. Hence, I must always look at the candlestick charts. Now, one bar here, for example, now this one closed at 6:41. How long did that take? This bar took over an hour to form, which, of course, just looking at the chart, I do not know. So, and this is something you have to become comfortable with. And it is, talking to new traders now, they might find this off-putting. I mean, I did when I first started out trading. It took me a while to integrate this, and that's why I use the candlestick chart. Where have we got it here? There it is again, where I can see very clearly how long it took for this bottom formation. I can't see that on the on the K bars, but here I can see I've got a tiny little flag forming here as well at the moment. Well, a wedge actually even. So we've got two. Actually, we've got a wedge and a flag in there, and I like this when I see two patterns unfold. So there's a tiny bit of a wedge, and we also got a tiny bit of a flag here. There, let's just draw that in there. So that's nice when we see two patterns, which that I can only take from the candlestick charts. But the two together, they act as confirmation for each other, very powerful. So I know this has taken quite some time. So I'm happy with this because I want to see this, because that gives me the up for a sustainable longer-term move. The shorter a move is, of course, the less likely it is that I get a sustained move. So here, I'm happy with that. If it sets up how I want it on the K-bar, which we're waiting for, we need to see the close of this, and that could go on for quite some time. I don't know. That's why I use an automated entry system. I can get in.
Cool. Brilliant. Well, look, thank you very much for coming on the show, Mercedes. Well, if you guys want to learn more about what Mercedes does and how she does it, and some of the really cool and interesting conversation we had around trading psychology, which is part of your bread and butter, Mercedes, then head over to the Trading Up podcast. There should be a link. If you're watching this on YouTube, there should be a link under the video. If you're not subscribed to YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe link after this. And look, have a great trading week. So look, thanks again for coming on the show. It was an absolute pleasure, and all the best for the future.
Thank you very much, Cam. Enjoyed it very much.